Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast. This is a special RPC Capes episode focused on comic books and all of that good stuff. With me today, I have a very special guest. His name is David Bishop. He is the writer, artist, and creator of a comic called Of Stone. Very good title, by the way. How you
Thank you
doing,
very
David?
much. I'm good. I'm good. I can't tell you how difficult it is. See, I've called it Of Stone, but when I'm talking about it,
Mhm.
sometimes the word of goes in front of it.
Yeah.
So saying of stone gets really awkward. So
Yes.
I got to think of like different ways to say it. So like I am the writer artist of stone.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
sounds weird, right?
But, well, we're all about the weird here
Yeah.
on
I mean, I
RPC,
probably
so
could have
we're
named it
okay.
better, but considering the
I mean,
considering the
it
story
fits
itself,
with, yeah, it fits with the character and
yeah.
it fits with the whole mythology that you're setting up too,
hmm hmm
which is really awesome. He reminds me of the Hulk so much.
I love Hulk so much. Yeah.
Is it Gon or Gan? The way that
Gan,
you pronounce the character, Gan?
Dan,
Okay.
yeah.
He really reminds me of the Hulk,
Yeah,
like the sort of gray Hulk where he's intelligent and can speak and everything.
yeah. No, I've always been a huge fan of the Hulk. I think one of my first Halloween costumes I remember was I think I was 8 years old, and I was watching the Incredible Hulk TV show with like Lou Ferrigno and
Oh,
Bill
nice.
Bixby, and man, I just loved that show so much. So I had to be the Hulk for Halloween, and it was October in Montreal, so it was cold,
Oh, wow.
but my mom had gone to painstaking lengths to paint me green, like the legs, the chest, the arms, the
Oh my
face.
goodness.
Of course, I had the shock of red hair. Not much to be done about that. So I was a red-haired Hulk. But it was cold, and she's like, "David, you need to wear your coat. It's very cold outside." And I got so mad because the Hulk doesn't wear a coat.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I absolutely refused to wear a coat. And
Oh
she
no.
sent me the picture, and I was laughing about it. She goes, "Yeah, you don't remember the hard time that you gave me about not wearing a coat at the end of October. It's almost winter, and not wearing a coat, or basically just wearing shorts trick or treating."
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
so I've always had a thing for the Hulk.
Yeah.
Um, surprisingly, I never picked up a lot of Hulk comics,
Hmm.
but I always had a soft spot for him. I really want to pick up the Immortal Hulk
Yeah.
series
That's
because I
a
hear that's just crazy.
I hear it's a really good book. I'm
Yeah.
so I have a backlog, so I haven't started on Immortal Hulk yet, but
Well, I heard it's kind of like a horror almost,
see,
and
I think that's the way to do it with Hulk. I
yeah.
think that, yeah, you want to definitely lean into the horror element and kind of bring that to the fore.
Well, I mean, it almost reminds me of what they did with Swamp Thing
Yes,
when
very much so. Hmm.
they rebooted the Swamp Thing and they geared
Yeah.
it more towards horror. It
Yeah.
just fits so well that people were just like, well, of course, Swamp Thing is horror. You know what I mean? And and then of course that introduces a whole new element to it, like
Hmm.
Constantine and the
Yes.
Spectre and Phantom Stranger, Etrigan, all that stuff. It just fit within that universe now, whereas before it might not have fit so well,
Yeah.
you know.
Really,
So I really want to check that out.
it
And
matches the Vertigo sort
hmm
of. Yeah.
hmm like I love the when they brought Hulk back, when Mark Silvestri was doing it.
Yes.
I just love the way that man draws, like
Oh yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
back to when I was collecting X-Men comics back in my teens and early 20s. He was doing an X-Men run, which was like just the way he draws. It just, I mean, it's almost sketchy, but
Yeah.
his lines have purpose.
It has, yeah, yeah. It has a real energy to it, and it has a real, like,
Yeah,
there's like you said, there's purpose behind it. You can
yeah.
tell that what he's drawing has, like, it's leading you somewhere as the
hmm
reader as
hmm
well.
And when you see his art, like it's his. Like
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
certain artists that you just know it's theirs, and there's a lot of great artists out there, but their style is um, not as obvious. You know,
Yeah.
um, like you see an Art Adams, it's Art Adams. You see
Yes. Yes.
Barry Windsor Smith. There's another one.
Yeah, Baron
Like
Windsor Smith.
you know when he's drawing something.
Bill Sienkiewicz is another one where it's like, yeah, you can clearly pick them out.
Yeah, like I loved his run on Moon Knight. That was, oh yeah, that was spectacular.
Yeah, that was really good. And one of the things that I like about your art is the textures that I see. Like there's a lot of like even with Gan, with the way he has those, I don't know if it's supposed to be like it looks almost like mud or something that covers his forearms, and the texture that you added there is just, it's so great. And like he has the rings on him and everything. Like that there's that one scene where with Gan and his wife, and she pulls one of the rings out, and I literally flinched when I read that panel because I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. For me, that was them being playful.
Oh yeah.
Because the rings are like a sign of his royalty or his position with the people.
But it's like it's almost like in his, it's attached to his skin, like, and oh my god, I flinched when I read it.
Yeah. And so she's sort of asserting her place with him. It's like, to everybody else, you're the king.
Yeah.
But to me, you're my husband.
Yep. Yeah. Right? She says that, and she just like, oh my gosh. It's playful, but at the same time I was like, ow.
Yeah.
But it's great. But yeah, like, like I was saying though, the texture that your art has, and even like with Gaiety, is that her name? Gaiety? Yeah. When she comes in and you see her in like her sort of her like fur coat that she wears when she goes into battle, you can see the texture of the fur, which is something that I really love. And like just your art has that to it, and it's something that I feel might be a little bit lacking in a lot of the mainstream stuff that I read nowadays. It seems like everything is very kind of like homogenized.
Okay.
In terms of the art, so maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm expecting too much sometimes, but I don't know. It just like I miss that. I miss that texture, and I miss that like the subtlety of the shading and everything. It's something that I miss in artwork now.
I mean, I think for me, something like that is it's all a part of the character, right? Like just as you draw a character's face, what they wear has to reflect who they are as well. Like my idea for Gaiety was like, okay, so what happens to Red Sonja when she's old? Right? She's had a few pints too many.
It's true. It's
you know
true.
What I mean?
She reminded me of that.
She's still that fierce warrior. But she's an older woman now.
She's still rocking the double axes,
Yep.
Yeah, she's still ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you have these really interesting enemies that are sort of like, they're almost like living shadows.
Yep.
And forgive me because I'm going to probably butcher this the way that I mentioned this here. I think they're called the Vrythund or Vrytund.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they remind me of like it's a mixture of the Shadow King from the X-Men from like the Claremont run way back.
Yep.
And it's a mixture of like those like spirit wraiths in like Final Fantasy VII Remake or something. It's got that. They're almost like wraiths.
Yep.
And so when Gan goes to fight these guys, he basically comes across one that can speak.
Yep.
And I'm really curious as to what that means, because it seems as if the way he reacts to it, it seems like that's something that hasn't happened to him in the past.
Right. So there's a whole history there between the two, between the people that Gan is a part of and the Vrythuns. They're, like it says in the first book, every so often, when one of the people comes to a certain age, they have to go out and they have to bring back the head of one of these creatures to prove that they're of stone. That they're worthy of being one of the people.
Yeah.
And Gan, being who he is, of course, he brings back two. And he goes out all the time to do this.
Yes.
Even though he only had to do it once.
Yeah.
He still goes out and he does it.
He's the
king. He has a lot of experience with these creatures. So for him to hear one that speaks, it really makes him question, what, like, what's really happening, what's going on, what are these things.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I do push them sort of into the background a little bit,
Hmm.
because I want people to forget about them a little bit, and then they'll pop
Yes.
in again, and they pop
Yes.
in and
Yes.
out. So it's like,
There's
okay, don't forget, there's still these things out there. Make
clearly
them
an
know again.
underlying mystery there
Yeah.
that we have yet to see, fully reveal itself. So,
Hmm. And
um,
hopefully sooner rather than later, I'll be able to write that story and bring that out. That sort of ties them together a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense of that relationship.
yeah. So we're talking a lot about the characters here, but tell me a little bit about the genesis of the of Stone universe and where that idea sort of came from.
Well, it's kind of funny because there's a whole thick stack of comics that I worked on that all sort of stemmed from this one idea. I
Hmm.
was going to do this grand story that had like zombies and noir kind of story and some ghosts, and it was all going to be in this sort of alternate reality place. And uh, there was this one character, he was just like this big hulking creature that had just kind of like a smiley face. um, and I tried to sort of start doing that. And I think one of the biggest problems when anyone decides that they want to make a comic is they have this grand story that they want to tell,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they try to start there.
Yeah.
Try to start with this grand story, and like 9.9 out of 10 times, I guarantee you that that story will never happen,
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
just so big. There's so much to it. It will never get done. You may
It's
start it. You may do a little bit here, do a little bit there,
yeah.
but nothing much will come of it. So
uh,
I was I was walking to work one day, and I was walking through this alley. And as I'm walking through that alley, I was thinking, it'd be really crazy if you're actually being chased by zombies through this alley. And then I thought, well, I kind of had this zombie story here, so
mhm,
maybe I'm going to start with that. So what ended up happening was I did this web comic called Stranger.
mhm.
And so I took the zombies that I was going to do for this one big story, and I put them in that comic. And I started thinking about, I don't know, it was probably a few issues into that, maybe 3 or 4 issues into that.
Uh-huh.
And I started thinking about this other character that was part of that whole storyline. The big guy with the smiley face. And I
Oh
love
yes.
drawing like big hulky characters. I just think that's cool. Like I'm a big fan of Swamp Thing as well, like I said, or
Yeah. Swamp Thing, Hulk. Yep.
Fantastic Four's Thing, or like any
Yep.
character
Thing.
that's
Yep.
just like massive.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
I could see. I could
um,
see it.
yeah. Um, and I just started fleshing that a little bit. So I just started sketching. I'm just sketching it out and sketching it out, sketching it out, and then I had an idea for a story, and I was doing this zombie web comic, and I thought, well, I don't want to be the guy who just does that zombie web comic. I want to do something else. I want to show that I can do other things.
Hmm. Sure.
Um, so when I was taking the transit into work, I would get on my phone and I just start writing this story out. So I wrote the entire first issue uh, just on transit on my phone.
Wow.
Um, and when I say first issue, the fact is that story was actually basically a one and done. It was a one shot. There wasn't supposed to be any more to it except
Really?
for this one story. Yeah.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so that I printed it in black and white. It was a black and white comic. So anyone who has those black and white comics, it's a collector's edition now.
Yeah.
It's probably worth like ones of dollars somewhere. Um, but that sort of sat on after I finished that. I did pretty well with that one on the convention circuit up here. People seem to really enjoy it.
Hmm.
And I had grown tired of doing the zombie comic. I had only done like 5 issues of that. Started at 6, but wasn't really feeling it anymore. But I still wanted to make the comics, and I kept going back to Of Stone, and I kept thinking about how open-ended the story was, and I did leave clues in that
Yes.
first issue
Yes.
that could lead to a bigger story.
Yeah.
So
I
I
see
started
it.
thinking about that bigger story.
Hmm.
Um, and when it comes to, you know, making your own comics, I think it's super important that you start small.
Sure.
So yeah, back in the beginning, I had this massive idea, this grand epic, 300 pages. Oh yeah, it's going to be wicked. But then, tone it down. Okay, it's a one shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did my web comic for a little bit. That was cool. I do like a page a week, post that. But then I had this one shot that I did. And what I loved about doing that one shot was that let me tell a nice contained story from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been it. And that would have been fine.
That would have been a good ending too, because he goes back there and he has the two heads and he's like, I am of stone. That's your mission statement. That is your story.
Yep. Actually, I sent it to a friend of mine, my buddy Fred. The comics community up here, especially in the Toronto area, they're a really tight-knit group. So lots of people know each other, lots of people communicate with each other, and everybody's really supportive of each other, which is really great about up here. And I see that online a lot as well. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna send this to him and see what he thinks, because I know that he likes fantasy comics, and he's a writer of comics himself, and he's done quite a few things. So I sent it to him, and I'm just kind of scratching my head. Okay, I haven't heard back from him for a few days. Maybe he hates it, being the fragile artist that I am. It's like, okay, obviously, because he hasn't written me back. And a couple days later, I get this email back from him, and he just types, "Fuck you." I was like, okay, I think I did okay.
Don't you love reactions like that? I just love it. Oh my God, it's so funny.
So great. I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, it felt really good to hear that from him, because that tells me that he appreciated it.
Yes, exactly.
And later on, I was able to actually collaborate with him on another comic that we worked on. So it was really great to work with him. And I like sometimes just sitting back and not having to write and just drawing what other people write.
Sure.
Because I find that helps me with my art game as well.
Yeah.
Because when I'm writing, I don't know about anybody else, but I have a tendency to write what I know how to draw. But when you're drawing somebody else's words, they don't know what you can and can't draw.
It's a challenge.
Right? They see what you can draw, but they don't know that you can't draw certain things.
Yeah.
So when I was working with, it was actually Of Stone that I sent to Kevin Joseph.
Yes. Yeah. The writer of Tart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we had him on.
Kevin and I were chatting because of another podcast. We met over another podcast. So he listened to me on the podcast. I listened to him, and we just sort of contacted each other and said, "Hey man, I like your work. Let's send each other some comics." So he sent me some
That's
Tart.
Awesome.
I sent him Of Stone, and we got the Mutual Appreciation Society going.
And that was how you came to be on our show as well, was through Kevin Joseph, because he actually suggested it to me to look you up, and vice versa.
Yeah, and Kevin is one of the most fantastic people I've ever had the privilege of meeting in comics. Like just an absolutely selfless fella, and he gives.
I saw that.
He gives credit to anyone and everyone he can who he feels deserves it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the man's just got a big heart. He's incredibly generous, and he's a hell of a writer too.
Yes.
After he read Of Stone, I don't know if you're familiar with the title Morte from Source Point Press. You had a chance to read that.
I have not had a chance to read that yet. No.
Okay.
I'll look
After this is done, I'm going to send this to you.
Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't bring this up either.
No.
So he emails me and he says, like, okay, I have an idea for a comic, but first, here's all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. He sends me this list. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be wordless. So a lot of the storytelling is going to be on your shoulders. It's going to be make or break, and it will be your fault if it doesn't work. He didn't exactly say that, but and then he said, I don't know what we're going to do with it, but I really want to tell this story if you really want to draw it. And he said, just let me send you the script and then you tell me what you think. So he sent me the script to Morte, and I read it, And I was just like, holy shit, dude, we got to make this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of the more challenging books I've ever worked on, because you can really rely on the writing to tell the story in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
But with a silent comic, you have to be able to tell that story clearly in the images you're putting down. Now he provides the direction
Yeah.
with all his words and how he describes each of the panels and what he wants to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, he didn't say, okay, this is how many panels this is exactly how the panel should look. He left it really open. He just sort of gave me the breakdown of, you know, what this panel should probably be and what this page needs to get across. And here's the point of what I'm trying to say with this. So he was really open to collaboration. So that was a real treat to work on. So we finished that and we're really proud of it. We're like, okay, great. Now we have this comic. What are we going to do? It's like, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, we should probably, I mean, we could kickstart it. So we thought about that for a little while. He says, okay, so before, because, you know, he has his experiences with Kickstarter. He's quite good at it, if you ask me.
Yes.
But then he said, okay, I want to shop it around to some publishers. So let's see what people say, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
And we got a few rejections, which is fine. It happens. It's not unexpected. And then Source Point Press said, okay, let's do it. And that was a big risk for them because it's a one-shot. It's a single issue, one-shot comic. And not a lot of publishers will do that.
Yeah.
You know, they want at least like a trade.
Yeah. 6 issues, let's say, or
like a 6-issue story arc, something thick, something that'll that'll be worth the return.
You can put it in the bookstores and the libraries and whatnot. Yeah.
Yep. So they took a big chance on us. And you know, we think it paid off pretty well. So that was cool because that was the first time that I had ever had any of my stuff in previews.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really fun to see. He was like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
so I had this little wall of fame down in my studio. I'd be podcasting from down there right now, but it's a big mess because I'm working on a painting right now, and that's taking up all the space.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, so I have this little wall of fame where I have, okay, there's my proof for Stranger, the webcomic I did. And then I have, you know, of Stone, and I have a ROM versus a Croyer pinup I did for an issue of ROM from IDW.
Oh, cool.
That
Very
was kind of fun because I loved ROM when I was a kid, and I loved Mike Knox when I was a kid. So to be able to have something in there, it's like, oh, that's totally wicked. Because they just said, okay, if you want to submit a pinup for our next issue, send it in. So I'm like,
that's awesome.
Why not?
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and of course you don't get paid for it or anything like that. I don't think anybody cares but me. But I put it up there on my wall of fame anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, speaking of the first issue of Stranger, I think I don't know if you know anybody who's making comics or anything like that, or is about to sort of go into making comics. The one thing I can say, this was my first time self-publishing anything. So as far as I was concerned, this was the greatest thing ever. And it's going to sell like hotcakes. This is the best story. It's fantastic. I just recently reread it. It wasn't terrible, you know, it was the first comic I did, and you can kind of tell. But I was doing Fan Expo one year. I just decided to get a table because why not? I was going whole hog in this whole creator thing. And I went and I got like 250 issues printed up. And I was like, yeah, these will sell it for the weekend, you know, and then I'll make all this money and people will know me and it'll be great, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know anything because by the end of that weekend, I think I had sold 20 issues.
Oh, man.
The entire weekend. So that was a real big eye opener for me because the fact of the matter is nobody cares about your comic.
It's difficult to get your comic noticed and to get your own sort of brand out there.
Yeah, and
Even
especially
at
when,
conventions. Yeah.
yeah, and especially if nobody knows who you are, this is your first time out,
Yeah.
it is highly likely that nobody's going to care because it's the first time they're seeing you,
Yeah.
right? That being said, on the flip side, if you keep going to all these conventions, you can't just have the same stuff
Yeah.
because people would be like, well, I already have that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or the stuff on your table is the exact same stuff that was there last year or 2 years before.
Yeah.
So I'll see you around. So if once you start making, you have to keep going. If
Yeah.
that's like, if you're going to go on the conventions, unless you're going to new conventions all the time where, you're going to be able to make those rounds and people are going to be picking it up because, maybe they've heard your name, but they haven't
Mhm.
seen you at a convention before. And now they're exposed to all your books. You just got to keep creating
Yeah.
in anything you do.
I've noticed that when I went to conventions and I used to hang out in the artist alley and look at all the prints and look at all the, the independent comics and stuff from local creators. I lived
Yeah.
in Hawaii until last year, and then I moved to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was that was a move. But I had
No.
gone to conventions right before we left, and I had seen like there's it always pained me, like it always made me really feel like bad because I couldn't buy everything, and I really
Yeah.
wanted to. Like
Yep.
walking past the artists and stuff, you want to support, especially like local artists and things like
Mhm.
that. You want to support people that are, you can tell they're making their livelihood off of it, and or at least part of their livelihood off of it. And so
Yep.
like for me it was always like, oh my god, I don't have enough money, but if I could I would,
Yep. Yep.
and so what I would do in those cases is I would just ask them for like a card or something and see if I could buy it maybe later online or something like that, at the very least,
Yeah. Yeah.
and at
That's.
least try that. And but yeah, it's fascinating to see because there's so much creativity
Mhm.
and there's so much artistry out there, and I can't draw a stick figure. I'm
Yep.
terrible at that. Like my thing is writing, and that's
Yep.
about it. And like um so for me, going around and just seeing all these artists and just I feel that struggle,
Mhm.
and I feel that like that sort of like I want to just put my art out there. So like so let's talk about that a little bit and just say like, what is it with your art that you want to put out into the world? What message do you want to send with Of Stone? And is there a message? Is there something baked in there that you kind of want people to see?
I don't know. It's like with Of Stone, a lot of it, the main story really is about family.
Mhm.
And I think
I
if
got
you go
that.
through it, you'll get that.
Yeah.
It's super important. Gan and his wife, they've experienced a great loss.
Yes.
Even Gaiety, she has her own family,
Yeah.
um, and you don't see them together that much.
Hmm. Hmm.
But there's a whole reason for that, and everybody's family is, they're still family, but all in their own different ways.
Hmm.
Just like us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Family means different things to different people.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I mean, without Stone, it's family.
Hmm.
That's the one big message. Like, family is super important to me. Being a dad is probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah.
Even though 20 years ago, if you had asked me about it, I probably would have laughed in your face. But personally, I feel like it's something I'm really good at and something that I love.
And even the antagonistic characters, like you have the forgive me again, the Vosh, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
And you have him and his son and what
Yep.
they're going through and how they're trying to sort of, like the Vosh has a place in society, but his son is sort of there and he's trying to figure his out.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't quite know where he fits into this, and he's
Mhm.
ambitious and he
And he's
wants,
very different from everyone else.
yes, he's very different.
Yeah. And
So
so, he has his own struggles because, he wants to please his dad. He wants to impress his dad
mhm, mhm.
because he knows he's special. And his dad is like, no, this is the way you have to be.
Yeah.
This is who we are.
Yeah.
If you are not this, there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know
His
what I
dad
mean?
is the traditionalist, and he's the one
Yeah.
who's kind of trying to break out from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting plot point as well.
And his dad doesn't see that his son is trying to make things better for them
Yeah.
in his perspective, but his dad can't see that because he's so like he's got the blinders on. This is who I am. This is our place in society. This is who we are.
Duty bound.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, something else that's going to come into play down the road.
And I love the use of mythological creatures as well. Like you have ogres, you have the wraiths, you have golems.
Yep.
And you have the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Rhys.
I love him. Rhys.
Yes.
I love him.
I love him too. He's he's a character that I definitely was like, wow, this is interesting. Okay, so now we're going somewhere here we're going into a different direction here with the story.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really love. And the size of this guy.
Yeah.
Gan's a huge character.
Yeah.
And then you have Rhys, and Rhys literally dwarfs him. It's like looking at the Giant and Hulk Hogan back in 1996 watching WCW Nitro.
Yeah.
It's just like, you got like the biggest guy who is then just dwarfed by the bigger guy.
Yeah.
Who comes out of nowhere.
The relationship between them is something that I really love because like Gan would do anything for his friend.
Yes.
Even though given the opportunity, his friend might kill him.
Yeah.
But it's not his fault. And Gan knows that.
And Rhys has that Hulk thing about him too, about his personality, where he's super smart and then he just hulks out.
Yeah.
But he's super mellow most of the time.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, something can happen and he'll go crazy. And and he's got that huge hammer. That shot of him with the big mallet that he's holding over Gan.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the whole time, Beta Ray Bill.
Okay. Thor. Yeah.
In a way, but like that reminded me of that, and it was it was such a good little moment there.
Yeah, I remember I was having actually a conversation with someone at a convention, and we're talking about fantasy, and this is before I had done Up Stone. And I was talking about I was thinking about doing a fantasy comic or something like that, and she's like, "Oh, would it be like Lord of the Rings kind of world, or that sort of typical mythological kind of setting?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think it would be." And the disappointment on her face, let me tell you, she was just like, "Oh." And I really took that to heart and was like, okay, so why am I going to write this story in somebody else's world? Like, I have the potential to make up any creature I want in any setting I want and make them be however I want. And I'm just going to get stuck in this typical world. So I wanted to have the familiarity of sort of the fantasy universe, but mix it up a little bit so that it would be mine.
Yeah.
So we do have the Minotaur.
I think you succeeded because I can't think of another story that I've read that's told from the point of view of the sort of the ogre people, right, or like the golem people, or what have you.
I was thinking about Conan, but from the perspective of the monsters.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get that. Yeah.
And with Rhys especially, I was thinking about the myth of the Minotaur and the labyrinth.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought, okay, what if the labyrinth had a purpose?
Yeah.
Like what if the labyrinth was an extension of the Minotaur? Like he wasn't just plopped there, but what if this is something that he was actually building? Like he was doing something with it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of, I'm not a mathematics guy, but I love the idea that mathematics is behind everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Like everything is a calculation. So with Rhys,
yeah,
he's actually plotting out everything that's happening using math.
Yes.
And so everything needs to be in its proper place.
Yes.
And he understands, okay, this is why I'm putting this over here. So this is going to happen because according to this calculation, this is the most likely thing that's going to happen over here. So when Gan shows up, he's like, no, this is all wrong.
Yes. And he freaks out.
Yeah, he freaks out because it's so wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what sets everything into place for the
Mhm.
rest of the story
Yeah.
because Gan showed up at the wrong time.
Yeah. That's right.
And Phaedra knows that, Gan's wife.
Yeah. Figure.
Like
Yes.
she
Yes.
knows that if he goes to see Reese, it may end badly for him,
Hmm.
which is why she pleads with why she's mad at him for going.
Yeah.
But Gan also appreciates just how smart his friend is,
Hmm.
and he needs his friend's help.
Yeah. Needs his
So
guidance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that's
Hey, no,
also that's another mystery is what the connection is there to Phaedra and how she's can we say it or is it too spoilery?
we can just say spoiler alert, and
Okay.
talk
Yeah,
openly about it, and people can skip past.
I'll label it. I'll label it
Yeah,
as we do discuss some spoilers if people are reading. Um so like so with Phaedra, apparently she's dying, is what Gan is thinking. So he goes to Reese for help. And this is my understanding of it. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
that's fine.
And so like, he goes to Reese and it throws everything off. It throws off all of Reese's patterns
Mhm.
and his sort of view of the future and where it's going. And Gan does this because he's trying to save his wife.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like one of the central mysteries here in this book, in my opinion,
Mhm.
in what I've seen of it. Um, and also like what is it Vosh or is it his son who's trying to manipulate Phaedra a little bit
It's
at
his
the
son.
wall? It's his son, right? Okay, I got that right.
Yeah.
So like I only had time to do one read through. That's why. So I'm like,
Yep. Yep.
I'm still a little bit iffy on the plot
That's okay.
details, but I'm trying to
You're
like
talking
work
to
it
the
out
right
as we
person.
talk here. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so Vosh's son is trying to manipulate Phaedra,
Mhm.
and I'm curious to see where this goes because oh man, there's just something about Vosh's son that's creeping me out right now. Like
Yeah.
he's totally he's hitting on her, and at the same time he's got that like his proxy that
Yep.
he's using
Yep.
is sort of developing its own sentience. It's kind of like becoming its own person.
So here's my question to you now, though:
Yeah.
is this proxy developing its own personality,
Hmm.
or is the personality that's being suppressed coming out?
Hmm.
I'm not saying one or the other, but I'm just saying what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a definite
So
possibility there. Yeah.
yeah, and I think everything that Davash's son does goes towards his idea of what
Hmm.
needs to happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he's doing all of this for a reason, because he feels like his father should be the one to rule the people,
Hmm. Hmm.
and his father doesn't see it that way.
Yeah.
His father's like, "This is my place. This is what I do. This is
Yeah.
your place. This is what you do. So sit down, shut up, learn something."
Yes. Yes.
Right? But his son has his own ideas, and he's like, "Okay, my dad doesn't want me to help him, but
Hmm.
I'm going to help him anyway."
It's a very interesting story, I have to
Mhm.
say. Like I'm hooked. You got me hooked on this,
Awesome.
my friend.
Awesome.
So is this comic now, let's talk about like how people can read it. So is it available anywhere in comic shops or on digital marketplaces, or is it on like Kickstarter?
I had it on Kickstarter.
Okay.
I successfully kickstarted that a while ago.
Okay.
So it successfully funded at 120%, which was really great.
Nice. Awesome.
I see. I was going to have it on the convention circuits and have it with me wherever I go, etc.
Yeah.
But of course, as you know, things haven't quite gone that way.
Nope, they have not.
So really, I should set up a store, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Mhm.
But if people do want it, then they can always message me, and we can set something up, and I can send it out, because I still have a
Awesome.
few copies left for sure. And I've had a lot of help putting that together.
Mhm. Mhm.
I wanted to do something special with the book,
Sure.
and I know that when people print these trades, they tend to put pinups in them, or have
Yeah.
artist friends do the pinups and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I I have a lot of artist friends who've contributed a lot of great work,
Hmm.
a lot of pinups, and I actually made those pinups into prints for the Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome. Yeah.
people could contribute to them. So I have artists like Shane Hare and Adam Gorham and Chris Yao, Andrew Hahn did one. Sorry, I'm blanking. Keith Gratchow. So fantastic artists who I've had the pleasure of knowing.
Hmm.
But I didn't want to just do pinups, and I wanted to make it something special.
Hmm.
So I reached out to writer friends of mine,
Yes.
and I said, how would you feel about contributing a short story?
Yeah.
So these short stories are sort of scattered between each issue.
Yes. Yes.
And they sort of help expand the mythology a little bit too.
Yeah, they do. I was
And,
gonna actually bring them up as well. Hmm.
Excellent. Then we're on the right track.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
One of the different things that I did was one of the artists I mentioned before, Shane Heron,
Mhm.
is also an incredible pastry chef.
Yes.
So he was able to, like, Reese the Minotaur is obsessed with Andrew's root pie.
Yes.
That's one of his things. He likes to talk about it. He loves it.
He loves it. Yeah.
And one of the writers that I pegged to help me out, he actually wrote a whole story about why Reese loves the Andrew's root pie so much. And then Shane actually did the recipe for Andrew's root pie.
That's amazing. I know.
Yeah.
I was chuckling at that when I read it because I was just like, oh my gosh.
So that's kind of a fun part of it. So you sort of, because Andrew's root is not a thing, you can swap the Andrew's root for sweet potatoes. So you can make this sweet potato pie. So when I was doing the Kickstarter, I actually did a video of my daughter and I making the pie.
Oh, wow.
And serving it up. And yeah, so it was just kind of fun. Now, interesting trivia for you. Andrew's root comes from the name of one of the characters in Dragon Age.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. I got it.
Yep. I was just trying to come up with some name, and I was playing through Dragon Age. I was like, I like that name, Anders. Yeah.
Anders
root.
Yeah.
Anders root. There we go. That's what it is. So that's a little call out there.
And it's actually sweet potato pie. How about that?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So if you do like your sweet potato pie, you can hit me up online, and I will send you the book that you will have to buy to get the recipe for the sweet potato pie.
There you go.
Yeah. Had
how you do it. Sell it to all those aspiring pastry chefs.
Right.
Out there.
And sweet potato pie lovers. I'd never had a sweet potato pie before, so I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Interesting.
So it was cool.
Yeah. Okay, and so now to kind of finish up our interview here, let's talk about, like, what are your tastes in modern comics? Like, what are you reading anything right now, or are you watching any TV shows or anything that's particularly inspiring for you?
To be honest with you, I just went through the first compendium of Invincible.
Nice.
Yeah, I had read a lot about it, and I was scrolling through Amazon one day, and it came up as one of those, oh, you might like this. And it was some 20% discount on it or something like that. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy this. So I went and got that.
So you got the huge compendium, the first volume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's massive. Cool. So I blew through that in a weekend.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it. And I've also been reading through the classic Akira.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so going through, my son is huge into manga right now. Huge.
Yeah,
so
manga's killing it.
Yeah, and I was talking to him about Akira, because he'd watched some anime too, and I said, we should watch Akira together sometime.
Oh yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I was thinking about the manga. I was like, I've never read the manga, and there's so much to it. I wonder what we're actually missing out on.
Oh, like all of it.
So much. So much.
Like 80% of the story is all in the manga and not in the movie.
Yeah.
And the
So I
movie's
mean,
still good.
I enjoy the movie,
Yeah.
like it as its own thing.
But like, yeah, the manga really
But the
fleshes
manga,
out
there's so
everybody.
much more to it, and like
Yes.
some of the characters that you see for like a brief instant on the screen
Yeah.
are, pretty major characters within the book itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been sort of a fun realization. But then looking at the art in the book
Mm-hmm.
has been really inspirational for me.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the way he draws buildings, the way, he even draws the vehicles, like his line work
Yes.
is just remarkable. Like there's some artists whose line work I just really, really appreciate, and he's one of them.
Yes.
Leonard Kirk is another one.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Leonard Kirk. Oh my gosh.
honestly, dude, like the way I get jealous when I look at his work, because he could go into great detail and build this fantastically detailed drawing, whatever, but he
Yeah.
doesn't have to, because he can suggest so much with the simplest of lines
Yes.
that
Yeah.
it's like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, how do you do that? And I'll be looking at it as like, that's amazing. Like,
Mhm.
I just think it's fantastic. So, when an artist, not just Leonard, but others like him, when they can create such a beautiful drawing with such a great economy of line,
Mhm.
it blows my mind. I love it. Like, you don't have to blow me away with all this detail. You can blow me away with zero detail,
Mhm.
because I feel like that takes more skill
Mhm. Mhm.
to not draw what's there and
I
still make it
see.
seem like it's there.
I see. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I love that.
I see a little bit in, like, when you introduced the concept of the wall, the sort of the wall of sorrow in
Oh yeah,
the story.
yeah.
Um and the way that you draw, like, that the first image of the wall where it's like a top down shot, and you
Mhm.
see like the stalactites in the ceiling and everything that are kind of just coming down,
Yeah.
and the shading that you use there and the way that you draw it sort of reminds me a little bit of Chris Boshelo
Okay.
and his art.
Yeah.
You know how he would kind of draw that additional sort of texture to his art sometimes when
Uh-huh.
he's doing like backgrounds or like snowy landscapes or like
Yep.
caves or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of like that to me. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. That's kind of what I saw in it.
Yeah, that
Um,
page was the bane of my existence for the longest time.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It came out so well though. I mean, I'm
It
looking
took a
at it
couple
now.
redos. I'm not gonna lie. It took a couple redos.
You know what though? It's one of my favorite pages in the
I love
entire
that.
book.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But it sets the stage for that, for the wall, that sort of, it's so like imposing, and then when you see it at ground level, it's like you can feel the emotion there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
That was the page after that
Yeah.
where Figueroa approaches the wall.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think it was actually the 2 pages after that
Yeah. 2
are
pages. Yeah.
really emotional pages for me. Like,
Yes.
they may be 2 of my favorite pages that I've ever drawn and written together.
Yes.
Just because of, like, for me, it's really impactful.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
But
love that. I love the gut punch that you deliver there, because everything's been so physical
Yeah.
for the rest of the book. All the violence has been physical, and then you just hit us with that moment and you see the tragedy.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
as someone who appreciates that, the kind of writing and that kind of, that moment in storytelling,
Mhm.
I really was impressed by that.
Oh, thanks. No, I really wanted to get inside her head
Yeah.
and show the readers where she is.
Yeah.
Like, they've experienced this loss, and we don't know how long ago it was, but we
Mhm.
know that it's still affecting them to this day. Like,
Mhm.
the both of them in their own ways.
And it's interesting too, because you feel that emotion, even though it's like, for me, I didn't really understand like what the idea of how they, like they said that they formed them,
Yeah,
like they formed their offspring as
yeah,
opposed to giving birth.
yeah.
And so, like, I don't really as a reader, I don't fully grasp what the formation process is.
Like Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore in Ghost.
Yeah, you good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty much it. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's a bit of a mystery there, but even though there's a mystery there, there's still that emotion, which is, I think, stronger than that.
Mhm, mhm.
It breaks through the confusion as a reader, and it just reminds you that these characters are sort of human.
Yeah.
in a
Oh,
way, even
their
though they're of
parents.
stone.
Yeah.
They're made
They're,
of stone, but they're
yep.
human.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, they're so that's just good storytelling, man, and just hats off to you for that. So
Thanks. Thanks.
um uh you know tell me a little bit about your history now, your personal history as an artist. So you're from Toronto, that area?
Yeah, Toronto area. I lived downtown for the longest time, but then moved out to the suburbs
Oh,
when we had
nice.
kids because it just wasn't a great place to be with children for us.
Hmm.
So now, we have a nice big backyard that the children can run around in and do all that.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, I went to, I was one of those kids that was just always drawing.
Hmm.
When I was in class, I was doodling, I was drawing, making little comic books for my buddies, and terrible comic books, to be honest with you. Just thinking about them. I was talking with someone the other day about them, and I'm just thinking about, it's so embarrassing. If those were to show up, it would be terrible. That's funny. My sister, she pulls these things out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I guess she kept a lot of these things that I used to draw, and every other Christmas or every couple of Christmases, she'll pull these out of nowhere.
She'll bring them out.
Oh, it's terrible. But it's still kind of fun to see, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's what I was into. Like there was one time I was really into Battle of the Planets, and there's one comic page that I drew. You could really tell that I was super into Battle of the Planets. And for kicks, I actually redrew it how I draw it now.
Oh, wow.
How I draw now. So that was a really fun experiment. But yeah, I just been always drawing. And then when I was finishing high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
I knew that I loved to draw, but I mean, I had no real formal training with anything.
Hmm.
And then I figured, okay, I'm going to go to art school.
Nice.
And I applied to go to all these art schools, and I put together some shitty portfolio. And all the schools said no, except for Sheridan College. And Sheridan College said, well, okay, we're not going to accept you into this program, but you can come to our fundamentals program, because you're not quite good enough for this, but we can make you good enough for this. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that. It's only a 1-year course. I'll do that. And so I did that for the year, and that's where I discovered this great joy of oil painting. Loved oil painting. It was fantastic. Not a great career choice, but I still loved oil painting. So then I applied to the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design, got accepted there, went out there for a year. I went out there with someone that I probably shouldn't have. So the year after that, I ended up going to what was then the Ontario College of Art, but is now, I think, the Ontario College of Art and Design University, I think, OCADU in Toronto. And I spent a few years there. And then I was like, okay, I'm good enough at art. I'm going to quit. And so I just went out and got a job and did that. And I really regret that decision. I wish that I stuck with it a little bit more. Because I just sort of, I still did a lot of painting, did all that stuff. But then I just sort of fell off the wagon, got more interested in girls than art, and partying than art, and everything else kind of fell by the wayside. And I was married and had a job, and I was doing that, and I wasn't very satisfied with my job. Even though my job was creative to a certain degree, I just felt like I was a bit of an art monkey more than anything else, right? Because everybody had a great idea of what the art should be, except for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to do a lot of what I wanted to do. And I was talking to a buddy at work, and she just said, so, why don't you do something you want to do then? And, I had always loved comics, and I had done a little bit of, drawing comic stuff here and there. I said, okay, I'm going to make a comic. Why not? I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make this web comic. Yeah, web comic. That's what I can do. It's not going to cost me anything. I just need to post it online. I can post it here and it'll be good. So that's where Stranger the Zombie comic came in, posting that web comic, because, when my buddy said, "Oh, just do something," I had the idea for the comic. I wanted to do that grand epic story.
Yes,
You
yes, yeah.
but that's when I just couldn't get it down on paper, so I moved to do this one little bit, like this zombie story. And then once I started doing that, like it was all downhill from there. I
All
got
right.
got bitten by the comic bug.
And then just to switch gears back to of Stone once again. So you did also the coloring process on this as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So this
So,
was truly a one-man show, this whole entire book here.
oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, the first issue was just in black and white,
Yeah.
which makes printing a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So it proved to be a bit of a challenge when I went back in to do colors. But if I was going to do the rest of the story, I didn't want to have one issue in black and white and then the rest in color. It didn't make sense to me. Yeah, so that's why I ended up doing
But
color.
even the colors that you used are they're muted, but it works for the story.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of his journey. It's Gan's journey of like, it's violent and it's his journey of self-discovery kind of, and we're seeing sort of his origin sort of take place there. So I think it actually worked because it's kind of a flashback.
Yeah.
So having the muted colors and it kind of adds to the atmosphere of the work. So I think it works for me. And then it gets brighter as the trade sort of goes along, as the trade paperback goes along.
Yep.
Then you get to Gaiety, and her by the way, she has one of my favorite segments, which is the segment in the tavern in the bar where that guy comes up to her and just starts hitting on her.
Yeah.
And she just completely just bowls him over and shuts him down, which is just one of my favorite parts of the book.
I love that little story.
Yeah.
That she tells.
Yes.
Because it shows that she's not just a club people over the head thing.
No.
She's clever and she's crafty, and she doesn't take any shit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great character there. I can't wait to see where her story goes. So, are you planning on continuing this story on Kickstarter or anything like that? What is your...
I do plan. I've already started drawing it.
Okay.
I've had some scholastic work come up over the past few years that always sort of takes a few months of my time. So I'll start doing something, and then, but like when a paid gig comes along, you got to take it.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And then I got hit up with another project. Like I get hit up with projects here and there. So it's like, okay, I want to do this, and then I want to do this. So there's so much that I want to do. So if I'm working on all these other things, it makes it difficult to work on my own things. So I'm still like, there's still so many stories I want to tell. So many stories I want to tell.
Of course,
I can't draw everything at once.
Yeah.
So I do have the ideas for the next couple of issues. I started drawing the next one. So I know where it's going to go, and I can't wait to sort of tell that story. And like one of the fun parts for me is, and I know it's probably excruciating for people who have been waiting on the story, is when you draw, what's super important to me is, as I draw, I need to get better at drawing. Whatever you're doing, you need to keep getting better. Whatever it is you do, I don't care if you're a writer or you're a manager somewhere or you're an executive somewhere. You need to get better at what you do.
Yes.
Because once you stop trying to be better, you get worse.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's stagnation.
Yep. So I feel like the more stories I tell, the better the writing will be, the better the art will be. And I really feel like I'm at a point where I'm going to need to employ some editors to really help me get to that next level, because they'll have a very critical and objective eye to my work that can just help make it better. And if I can make the next set for Of Stone better, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you've done a great job with this first volume of Stone, and There we go. I just did the up
Yeah,
and
see?
down thing.
See?
But you know what though? The first volume is excellent, and I hope that more people find it and more people read it and just enjoy your work. And one final fun question for you. So, if you could
Yes.
work on any particular property, we're talking Marvel, DC, Image, just basically anything, what would it be?
I would do a Swamp Thing,
Awesome.
hands down. Hands down, I would do a Swamp
Like
Thing.
old school Vertigo Swamp Thing?
Any Swamp Thing.
Any Swamp Thing. Gotcha.
Anything. Like if it was an old school Vertigo horror story Swamp Thing, sure. If it was, to be honest with you, anything Swamp Thing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love them.
Well, I'll tell you what, the tone of your writing and the way that you write this story definitely would fit in that universe, because the whole time I was reading this, I was thinking this is like a Vertigo book.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Sandman. It reminds me of Swamp Thing. It's very,
Yeah.
very cool.
So
I
maybe
like
if you're a
the
fan
tone.
of those things, you might like Stone.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
See? Just hit me up and then buy a copy and I'll send it to you.
All right, David, this has been a pleasure. So where can people find you online if they want to order the book or just keep in contact with you?
On the Twitter, I'm at Renerd. That's RENERD. Instagram at Renerd Bishop. That's where I'm most active. I'm trying not to be on Facebook. It's kind of a necessary evil.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
I don't really use it for that much, but I'm more active on Twitter and Instagram for sure. And if you want to see other stuff that I'm working on, for sure, check out Twitter and Instagram, and you'll see I'm putting together a book now called Crude, which is, again, one of those massive swampy lake creatures. I drew the story and Fred Kennedy I drew the art, Fred Kennedy wrote the story, and it was published as an anthology in like 8 or 9 different issues. But now we're putting it together as a trade, as its own thing. So you can see a lot of work coming up from that.
Awesome. All right.
And I have another superhero comic I'm working on called Ghost in the Alley. That one, it's only a 12-page comic, but I'll give that away for free to anybody that wants to read it.
Nice.
Sort of a street level crime fighter who lives with her grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
So yeah, just hit me up online.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, guys. You can find us at renegadepopculture.com. We have show notes. We have the podcasts up. We have regular just text-based articles up there for you to read if you so desire. We also have our official Twitter and Facebook is at Ren Pop Culture. That's REN Pop Culture. And we have a Facebook group at facebook.com/group/RPC42. All right, guys, this has been another episode of RPC Capes. We will see you guys next time. Peace out.